You are about to listen to the words of Fethullah Gulen, a distinguished Islamic scholar and thinker. In this podcast, you will hear his essay, What Education Promises.
The happiness of a nation can only be sustained if new generations are raised up in the integrity of both heart and mind. But the youth of our time have been born into inauspicious bosoms of neglect. They find themselves in the midst of ruthless leaders, deadly ideologues, and debilitating media. It is our responsibility to rescue the youth from this suffocating atmosphere, for it is their dynamic potential that will create for us a future. We must teach them how to exist by their own will. This is the sacred mission of all authorities and administrators. We entrust our future to the youth. If they cannot acquire discernment through education, they will be crushed under the weight of base instincts and bad habits. Lust, rage, and greed will separate them from the essence of their humanity and enslave them to false convictions. According to modern pedagogy, such feelings can exert a powerful influence even on the most educated youth, forcing them into error. In reality, our human desires have been given to us because they can be enlisted in the service of good. Education teaches us to manage these feelings. We are fortified against their negative influences and able to direct them towards proper ends. Education teaches us how to employ even apparently harmful human emotions towards the goal of perfection. It enables the individual to develop the sense of virtue, the strength of will, the capacity for reflection, and the love of freedom that is service to the truth. The young generation suffer in the clutches of desire and ambition. If we fail to provide them with an education that addresses their true inwardness, if we fail to reveal to them the ways of morality and virtue, our nation will not escape its present turmoil. Obviously, the nations that have successfully imparted to their young the nobility of ethics and culture will find in the new generation the guardians of sacred values. Thus, their future is secure. But when nations neglect the moral and intellectual education of their children, they abandon their society to decadence and chaos. Education should be among the primary concerns of nations, since it is so closely related to their vitality and longevity. It is even more important for a nation facing social and economic depression. In such a time of crisis, the society will be ruined if it does not diagnose its own predicament with clear eyes. If the nation obeys emotion rather than reason, if it gives in to despair or loses its way in the turbulence of the crowds, it will falter. Even the slightest errors in the matter of national education can result in enormous destruction. For all social crises which scatter the individuals like the autumn leaves could be said to originate in the lack of education and culture. If our national leaders cannot understand the significance of education and address instead thousands of inessential problems, then we must ask God for more patience as we wait for our Heracles. Today we face a challenge more serious and more delicate than any other. We must teach our spiritual heritage to new generations and rescue them from alienation. Our efforts in the name of education will result in our future security and happiness, whereas our negligence and indifference will culminate in misery. Therefore, as responsible people, we must review the causes of our current social disorder and develop an objective plan for enlightening our children. This is the only way to save our country and nation. We must raise generations who comprehend their time, who are able to consider the past, present, and future together. Otherwise, God forbid, our nation will be crushed in the merciless gears of history. Just as species become extinct when they fail to adapt to their environment, nations also pass away when they do not respond to the demands of their age. They surrender the field to other, more capable nations. The ruins of past civilizations and the fossils of extinct creatures both illustrate this divine principle. The Egyptian civilization, the Roman Empire, the Andalusian culture, the Ottoman Empire, all have been crushed by the same grim reality. They survive only as withered traces or ethnographic relics. The same end awaits every nation that does not encourage its young to cultivate in themselves systematic thinking, willpower, and the love of God. These ideals will preserve them from indolence, discouragement, and panic. They will spur them to work with enthusiasm and evoke in them a public spirit. Today we have to rethink our system of education in response to the social context of our time. We need to chart a new course from the past to present and from present to future, developing clear educational guidelines for new generations. In this regard, public authorities have a special responsibility. And until the day that vigorous minds and passionate hearts face up to this problem, how can we have confidence in the future of our country or expect our nation to be elevated?
You have just listened to the words of Fethullah Gulen, brought to life through an AI-generated voice. Known for his teachings on faith, interfaith dialogue, peace, and education, Mr. Gulen also inspired the Hizmet movement, a global initiative that promotes democracy, human rights, equality, and nonviolence. To learn more about Fethullah Gulen and the Hizmet movement, visit fethullahgulen.org.